everyone, I'm Sherry.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Elliott.
So we wanted to talk about why we're taking this class at first. So I grew up in a Buddhist family and I never really learned about the religion and only performed certain Buddhist actions because my parents wanted me to. So when people ask me what religious beliefs that I have, I would only say that I'm agnostic but not Buddhist. And I also wanted to learn more about my parents' religion and the reasons behind all the actions that I perform.
For me, I come from a Christian background, and Christianity was kind of the only religion that I ever grew up knowing about, and so I wanted to learn about other religions and what they believe and how they explain what our purpose on this world is. And a part of my extended family is also Buddhist, and so I thought it would be interesting to learn more about what they believe in.
Yeah, my story is very much similar to Sarah's, where I just grew up with a very strong Christian background. And I had a few friends that were nominally Buddhist, and I would ask them a few questions on their own faith and religion, but none of them were really able to answer my questions. So that kind of leads me to why I took this class, and probably some of the reason is to gain some answers to the questions that I had when I was a little kid, but also to just gain an overall perspective and an understanding of other religions besides the one that I just grew up with.
So why we wanted to do this topic was because we believe that everybody should believe in some concept of cause and effect, whether you want to call it karma or not. And if you don't, then that means every action that you do would have basically no impact to the world, and basically there's no purpose to what you do. And so karma is also a very common concept found in many other religions, so it probably has some truth to it, and so we want to expand upon these things. So what is karma, cause, and effect? Karma, cause, and effect is the third of the four thoughts that turn the mind away from samsara. Karma is a Sanskrit word that comes from the Pali word kama, which means action. The dictionary definition of karma is the sum of a person's action in this and previous states of existence, which are viewed to decide their fate for future existences. Basically, this means that whatever actions you have performed or will perform will have some kind of effect on your future, whether good or bad. So, if you do good things will happen to you, and if you do bad things will happen to you. In Buddhism, we often focus on the fact that we are responsible for everything that we do, and that we control our fate, and so we are in fact the only ones that can control our own karma and our future. Besides the full action, intention is also very important when it comes to karma, as it is very much interconnected with action since it is in the four parts of a complete action.
So there are three different kinds of results when it comes to karma. The first one is called result of maturation. This means that when you look at your present body and mind, it is the result of the maturation of your previous actions. So whatever we have done in the past affects what our present body and mind are like now. Another is called result concordant with its cause. This means that the result that we are going to experience has something to do with its cause. So for example, in this life, if you take lives, like if you are a butcher, then your whole lifespan will be short. Or if you steal in this life, in the next life you will be poor. So the result that comes in the next life will be logical to what the cause was in this life. The final is called cumulative result or collective karma. This has to do with the fact that we are all interconnected. For example, when a whole nation is suffering from war, it is believed that there is some collective cause or collective karma that they have all accumulated that brought this result.
Section we'll be discussing the four aspects of karma. The first of which is that it is definite. So if you plant an apple seed, you'll get an apple tree, not a mango tree. And likewise, a negative action will bring about suffering, and a positive action will bring about happiness. The second aspect of karma is that it expands. This is saying that a small action can bear a great result. And the Buddha once said something about how the falling drops of water will eventually fill a large container. And the third aspect is that the result is not experienced if cause is not present. This is pretty straightforward, but you'll reap what you sow, even maybe more than you sowed, but you won't reap what you did not sow. And furthermore, a person cannot take on the karma of another, even if they desire to. And the fourth aspect is that a result will never get lost. This is due to the different types of karma. These results could remain dormant for a long time, but they're never lost, and they will come to fruition when the right conditions arise for ripening.
Personally, I do believe in karma, cause, and effect because it is what my parents believe and what they had taught me ever since I was a child. I do think it's real because I think we should understand that our actions would affect us in the present and in the future. Even if karma is not real, I think the concept is a very realistic way to think of our everyday actions and how we can reflect on ourselves using this concept. I also believe in karma because I think I've seen karma in my own life, both negative and positive. I associate the phrase that hard work pays off with karma because if you put in the effort and the work, you will achieve the results that you would want. I also believe that I worked quite hard in high school to stay involved in a variety of activities and get good grades, which resulted in me getting into UVA, which is a good college. Besides putting in a lot of effort to do well, I think that I try to do a lot of community service and give back to the people who have helped me along the way, which resulted in a good life that I live, and I don't have to worry about a lot of things such as my future and financial stability. Furthermore, I witnessed karma in my parents' life because I think they devote a certain amount of time to Buddhism and try to pray day and night, and so they are able to live a relatively comfortable and happy life too. After learning more about karma, cause, and effect, and how both small and big actions can affect my life, I think I will be more mindful in the way that I act and things that I do. I also understand how I am the only one that can control my future and fate, and I cannot blame anyone else for anything that happens to me, which makes me even more reflective on my life and how I will try to be a better person and do better things. I think it has quite benefited me learning more about karma, cause, and effect because sometimes I'm quite careless and do whatever makes me happy, but I don't necessarily think about the effects of my action, which sometimes result in something bad, so I should consider being more careful and thinking before I act.
I think that it's hard for me to believe fully in the concept of karma. For me, I don't really believe in reincarnation and having multiple lives. Rather, I think that this life is all that we have and that all humans are born once and die once. And so karma is so heavily based on the fact that what we do in this life affects our next life. And so I think it's hard for me to fully believe in this concept without believing in reincarnation. However, I do think that the concept of cause and effect is real, but in the way that how we live now will affect our current lives, not our future lives. There is one verse in the Bible that says, "As I have observed, those who plow evil and those who sow trouble reap it." I think that the way that we live our lives right now will bring real effects in our current lives and will also determine where we end up after this life as well. And so, for example, if someone gives to the poor with a good heart, I really believe that they will be rewarded even greater. And so I would say that I don't fully believe in karma, but I do believe that our actions have an effect in our lives.
So, do I believe in karma? I would say definitely not. I have strong religious background as a Christian, and I actually try to avoid using the word karma in my daily conversations because I just believe that it doesn't reflect my beliefs very accurately. However, just because I do not believe in karma, it doesn't mean that I think that it's 100% wrong. In Christianity, actually, it teaches us about reaping and sowing. And in Galatians, it says, "Let us not grow weary in well-doing, but in due time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Therefore, as we have an opportunity, let us do good to everyone, and especially to the family of faith." But this is where the similarities kind of end, because in Buddhism, it teaches us that no one can save us except ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves walk the path, but Buddhists clearly show the way. This is basically just telling us that we basically have our entire lives in our hands. And some people would choose to believe this. But in Christianity, we are taught something different, completely opposite actually. In Ephesians, it says that the thing that saves us is actually the grace of God. It's something that we didn't work for at all, but rather we have been gifted it. So the ideas are kind of similar, but but they come from completely different backgrounds and fundamental beliefs. And it's not correct to say that Buddhism equals Christianity just because of this. So I just wanted to be clear on that. And I really don't mean to say this to sound all high and mighty, because I realize that I failed to do good in so many areas of my life. But researching more about karma has really reminded me to do more good in my life, because I just find myself just doing nothing most of the time.
So in conclusion, we think that karma does vary from religion to religion, and it's very much up to you whether you believe in karma.
We think that everyone should believe in the concept of cause and effect and how your actions have certain results.
And we also believe that Thomas Jefferson described the concept of cause and effect best when he said, "I find that the harder I work, the more luck I seem to have."
Thanks
for watching.